Welcome, beautiful souls. Thank you for joining me on the frequency of abundance. I'm Natan Brahosky, your host with the most. And if you've been here on week 3, this is season 7 of Frequency of Abundance. We are talking about immortalizing your impact. That's what this week's theme is, and this is all about legacy. That's what the whole season's about. So we're not just building legacies, we're broadcasting frequencies that echo into the future. Here's what's on deck. We started Motivational Monday, speak so that the future remembers. Transformational Tuesday, today, this is the legacy of letting go. Undefined. Sometimes what you release shapes the future more than what you hold on to. Tomorrow, on Wealth Wednesdays, we're going to be looking at future-proofed, designing a legacy that lasts. Thought Leadership Thursday, legacy leadership is frequency leadership. And Fearless Friday ends the week Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, with reruns all weekend long, restreaming 3 times a day. Fearless Friday is becoming the North Star. You don't have to finish it all, but you do have to begin. Now, for today, when we're talking about Transformational Tuesday and the legacy of letting go, sometimes what you release shapes the future more than what you hold on to. So what if your next level isn't about adding more, but about releasing what no longer aligns? And we're going to explore how surrender, forgiveness, and release aren't signs of weakness. They're acts of power. Legacy isn't just about what you carry. It's defined by what you're willing to set down. Let go. Make space. Create your future. This is the legacy of letting go. Now, if you're picking up what we're putting down, I'm going to put it in the chat. Join us. Join us on Frequency of Abundance. Pop in. Go to the LinkedIn group. Just type Frequency of Abundance. Click groups. You're there. There's dozens of us now. Going into hundreds. Going to go have some fun. And so many people that you get to come and play with. If you are in a creative space and you are looking to go, I am blessed to be at 9 out of 10 personally and professionally. And I want to make sure that others get my message, that I want to leave a legacy, that I'm here. And if you really, really wanted to push and you really wanted to say, I want to get back. I got ways to help others become limitless. I want to share how I serve those that I lead. And I want to really let others understand that you too can make other people completely limitless. So in that context, if that's what you're rocking, I would love to bring you here. I want you to see if you wanted to be a podcast on my invitation only Leaders That Lead and the voices that lead and the podcast that is Leaders Legacy Limitless. Take a look.
Ever wonder what sets real leaders apart? It's not the corner office, it's the impact they make. Welcome to the Voices That Lead podcast with Natan Brahosky, where we dive deep with leaders who put service first. These aren't just CEOs or big names. They're people making a difference, building legacies through acts of kindness, mentorship, and heart. Every episode you'll hear powerful stories, straight from those who lift others up and inspire change. Looking for practical advice, authentic conversations, or just a spark to unleash your own limitless potential? You'll find it here. Because leadership isn't just about where you end up. It's about who you help along the way. Join the community and get inspired. Reach out to be a featured guest on the program. Leaders, Legacy, Limitless. Subscribe to the Voices That Lead podcast. Join us as a speaker and let others be inspired by you. Become the leader you're meant to be.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited to have you as the leader you're meant to be. It's time to rise up. It's time to get funky. So let's get right into your legacy. Now, sometimes what you release shapes the future more than what you hold on to. If we're going deep, then it's not what you build or accumulate, but into what you release. True transformation often begins not with the next big step forward, but with the sacred pause. the time that you need to let go? What if your legacy isn't about what you hold on to the tightest, but what you've been brave enough to surrender? So let's look at the physics of letting go. Everything you cling to has mass, and in energy, mass creates gravity. Let me translate it another way. The things you own end up owning you, if that's a little bit easier to catch. The things you own end up owning you. Everything you cling to has mass, and mass creates gravity. So what you hold on to takes space in your nervous system. Trauma, outdated goals, expired relationships, limiting beliefs, they're all going to create this energetic cluster. And that cluster is going to create clutter. So letting go isn't loss. It's choosing what deserves your energy. Let's do a quick exercise. Write down everything you're tolerating right now. Write down, I'm doing this, but I don't want to. Let's circle one thing you can release this week. Just one. And visualize your body without it. Notice the weight difference that you literally feels like a weight has been taken off my shoulders. That's a physical feeling. That's a real thing. And I think for next step, if you want to be kind to yourself, record a voice memo to yourself affirming, I choose to create space for something better. Let's take a look at identity versus legacy. Legacy begins where identity stops, clinging to the past. So if you're saying that all I'm going to do is cling to the past, that's not your legacy. That's you living in someone else's. And if you tie your identity to someone else's living in the past, my goodness, that gets complicated. I thought you're supposed to be the star of your own movie. And I thought you're supposed to focus on that light. So look at a nugget as many people mistake their pain for their personality. Sure, it could be the pain that heals versus the pain that transforms. And that is something great, but is that a part of who made you you? Yes, but don't mistake that for your personality. It reinforces something you don't want until the nearest physical equivalent becomes true. And that's something you definitely don't want. So you're not what happened to you. You're who you became after. So look at that the father, the child, the man, the boy. So you're like, okay, so the boy is father to the man. You're like, how does that work? You're like, well, as a child, I end up being what creates the archetype and framework for what the boy will grow into as the man. The boy is father to the man. You're not what happened to you. You're who you became after. If you're picking up what we're putting down, put a like, put a comment, put a share. Make sure you grab a little bit of that extra mojo so that we can get the algorithm moving and grooving. Look at an exercise as drawing two overlapping circles, a Venn diagram. One side is my identity now, and the other side is who I want to become. And in the middle, where they intersect, write what needs to be released to bridge that gap. My identity now, who I want to become, what's needed to release to bridge them. So choose one action today that's in alignment with the future version of you. This could give you the power that you need to really jump and move forward. Look at the myth of more. Abundance isn't about more. It's about enough. If you have $1 more than you need, isn't that technically the definition of abundance? The addiction to adding more keeps you busy, but it doesn't make you better. Simplicity, that's going to be the birthplace of genius and joy. You make a perfect double espresso and you're like, oh, so simple. But I have such joy in it. And I had to exercise such genius to make it. It's quite fun. Look at an exercise of auditing your commitments. What do you need to stop doing to focus more effectively? Look at a next step might be to say no to one thing a day without explanation, just because you can, to prove to yourself that you can. You heard about those people that, like, I went to a job interview and it was a, $80,000 a year job, and I just chose to walk out and leave it. Why? Well, because I wanted to know what it feels like to be able to turn down an $80,000 a year job. I'm like, okay, good for you. People need to exercise their ego in such unique ways, but that one made that person feel like they're above that. And they're not subservient to anyone or anything, and they don't have to take any offer. They can choose their own worth. And that's very empowering. So let's look at the emotional backpack. You can't really climb your next mountain without someone else. If you had someone else's baggage on your back and your baggage, you can't. You can't climb the next mountain. It's too heavy. Resentment, regret, these are weights. Oh, they're so much heavier than they look. They're like an incredibly, it looks like a little ball, but meanwhile it's made out of an insanely dense material. And it's so much heavier than it looks. And you're like, it's almost unliftable. That's resentment and regret. They're weights. You're not required to carry them because they're exponentially heavier than they look. Forgiveness is, let me try that in English. Forgiveness is for you. It's not for them. Repeat after me. Forgiveness is for me. It's not for them. I'm not forgiving the people who took advantage or wronged me. That is an odd way to understand that energetic transaction that happened. The forgiveness is for me, to allow myself to forgive myself for what happened. They are on their own, karmically, energetically. If they believe in a higher purpose, then they're held accountable. If they don't, then they're not. And life goes round and round. So write a letter of release to someone who hurt you. Don't send it. Burn it. Bury it. Tear it up. Ritualize the release. And let it go. And let it go from inside. Get rid of it. Let it go. Replace the inner voice of blame with the phrase, I'm free now. Look at that. Look at that as a power, the power of a clean slate. Your future deserves a version of you not shackled to yesterday. A nugget might be that reinvention doesn't require trauma. It requires intention. There's a wisdom in wiping the whiteboard clean. So take one day this week. Pretend you're starting over. How would you spend it if you had no history? You can ask you to step up and ask a really big question of yourself. In your journal, say, if I had nothing to prove, what would I pursue? What would I go after? What would I do? So look at that when it happens and you let go of people. These are big, emotional, vampires, energetic vampires, things that are there that are just parasites and rob you. So some people are chapters. They're not lifetimes. They're not the entire part of the book. They're just here for a couple chapters here and there. Loyalty is what's beautiful, but self-abandonment isn't. So not everyone can go where you're going. It's okay. Your goal is to go. Your goal is to take as many with you that are at the same level and are ready to go. That's all you can do. You're going one way or another. Those that are coming are coming. So make two lists. People who lift me, people who drain me. And I'd like you to reduce some time spent with the second group by just 10% this week. So just go ahead, you know what? If I normally spend 2-3 hours, I normally spend about 3 hours with these people. Cool. Minus 10%. Oh, good. I'll just take 30 minutes off. Perfect. There you go. Do that. So now you only spend 2.5 hours. Do the same thing next week and next week. Just spend less and less. Invest more time with those who reflect your future, not your fears. So let's take a peek at an energetic spring cleaning. It's a good time. You can do it in the winter, the summer, the fall. It's a spring cleaning in name, but it's not tied to any time of the year. You can clean your house. When's the last time that you cleaned your aura? Let's look at your environment. Reflects your internal state. If you're going to release clutter, you're inviting clarity. You're giving it space. You're giving it an opening. You're making it possible. Without that, if you're not going to release clutter, where can clarity live? Where can it hang out? There's nothing to sit on. There's no place to chill. So choose one drawer, one closet, one inbox and declutter it today. As you do say, as I clear this space, I make room for more aligned energy. I'd like you to practice 5 minutes of stillness after cleaning. So clean up everything, go, oh my goodness, that's wonderful. And then just sit with that for 5. Still. See what else comes. Because when you do the cleaning and you do the clearing, you invite clarity. So it's right there for you. Don't miss out on that. Sit there and get your reward for all that work. Look at it as a sacred surrender. Letting go isn't passive. It's a precision surrender. Surrender is a strategy. It's not a surrender of power. So trusting the timing of your life is a proper act of leadership. You can ask yourself, what are you micromanaging right now that you need to trust? If you trust, then you know that the system works if you work the system. Do you trust? Do you visualize letting it float away like a helium balloon? Trust. Next steps would be to whisper this mantra for you for today. I surrender to the unfolding. I surrender to the unfolding. I want you to let that sit for a moment. I want you to think that if there's a way that you'd like to play with us, we talked about voices that lead. So if you're at that wonderful level and you're leaving legacy and you know exactly how you serve those that you lead, and there's gifts that you have to make others limitless, I'd love to have you on the podcast. It's incredible, and it's a huge, huge impact for quite a few lives. If you'd like to have a chance to come play with us, and if you know my background, I've been an elite energy coach for about 30 years. Started with Cirque du Soleil acrobats, Olympians, national sports teams, had about 20,000 people come through my hands, wrote a couple best-selling books, Moments of Power and Personal Momentum, Secrets of Self-Transformation. And where I get to play in this beautiful intersection between mindset and marketing, kind of where belief becomes brand, it's how I come through as an alignment alchemist. And so if you're at that place where you'd like to go from 9 out of 10 to 9.1, 9.2, and you're looking for an Olympic elite energy coach that can bring you there and show you how to get in the zone and stay there long enough to get 2 days worth of work done in one, I'd love to invite you to come say hi. I'd love to introduce you to my circle of friends so that we can play together. And I want you to know, if we're looking at coming through, especially in terms of power and ways to level up, I'd like you to think of Allura, the only not-for-profit public relations house in the world, as something that might be able to help you level up. Take a look and see. I'd love you to come into the sandbox. There's so many tools, so many places to play. Once you're in, sky's the limit.
I'm excited to introduce you to Allura Creative Agency, the world's first and only not-for-profit public relations powerhouse. Our mission is to increase your brand's visibility, credibility, and extend your global audience. In short, we hunt the whales for you. Our proprietary methodology blows a dog whistle to C-suite executives, leaders, founders, and owners across any industry. Welcome to our Executive Engagement Engine trademark. That's our secret sauce. It includes 3 proprietary processes: our Engagement Ignition trademark pre-event outreach process, our Commitment Catalyst trademark butts and seats process, and our Fortune Follow-ups trademark post-event outreach. These ensure the highest level of interest, virtual attendance, and follow-up conversations. As the world's first and only not-for-profit public relations powerhouse, what's our promise to you? Unparalleled commitment to transparency, ethical engagement, and impactful results. Partner with Allura Creative Agency and experience transformative executive engagement. Book a time to speak with us today, and here's to the evolution of your brand.
Popping off the page, I love it. So, let's round the bend as we're coming through and we're finishing up. Let's go through some deep thoughts. Sometimes letting go, it's not about weakness, it's about worthiness. What you release today may make room for miracles tomorrow. It's physiological, so your nervous system can't be in growth and defense at the same time. That's why renewal is so critical. Release isn't rebellion, it's renewal. These old stories that you have that you live with, they die hard, but new stories are waiting for your permission. Forgiveness is what frees your frequency. So you're not doomed to repeat the same stories and live that same frequency. You can rise up. Simplicity, though, I think might be a guiding strategy. It's not a downgrade. It's the ability of letting go so that it doesn't leave you empty. It makes you available. And that's why, sometimes who you came to the dance with isn't who you leave. Some relationships end so your relationship with yourself can begin. That's why the universe, it abhors a vacuum. It won't leave that alone. You put something in, cool. It meant you took something out. You take something out, you can't leave it empty. You have to put something else in. So choose. Choose what you want to put in. Choose what you want to leave in. Choose it consciously. And make sure it's something better. You don't want to have to earn your right to evolve. You know that it's natural. Every part of us, in every part of nature, moves. Even trees let go of their leaves to prepare for abundance. That's why you're not meant to carry everything. The things you own end up owning you. We talked about that at the beginning. That frequency, the weight that it has, the gravity that it attracts. So you're not meant to carry everything, you're meant to channel. Letting go is going to be a form of leadership. And that's a powerful way to play. If you can't write your next chapter because your hands are so full of all these old pens that are dead and dying and have dried up ink, when will it be that you step into that place? That you remember that legacy is not the weight of what you hold, it's the lightness of what you release. So that if I weigh your heart against the feather is heavier. Your heart is lighter than a feather. That's the power, that's the beauty. From Carolyn, thank you. Yes, shedding what no longer serves. Amen. Really, really letting that be your shining moment. So I wanted to make sure that you're popping in and that you're here by invitation, my friend. Let go. Make space. Create your future. Not by force, not by fear, but by the faith in what you want to arrive. Because you're not just the author of your story, you're also the editor. And sometimes the most powerful move is to delete. I want to thank you for joining me on Transformational Tuesdays. I want to invite you to pop in for Wealth Wednesday. Future-proofed, designing a legacy that lasts. And I think you're going to have some fun. Thought Leadership Thursday, Legacy Leadership is Frequency Leadership. Fearless Friday, Becoming the North Star. 11 a.m. Eastern, Monday to Friday. Restreams all weekend long so that you can keep in as we're rounding the bend and finishing Season 7 on Frequency of Abundance. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I've had an absolute blast, and I'd love to see you tomorrow. Bring a friend. Have some fun. Come enjoy and binge. This is just for you. As always, I'm the Tom Brahosky, your host of the most